Hello dude. So far we understand the basics of entity relationship model. Now in this lecture we will go through the basic notations which is used to draw a entity relationship diagram. Okay, so let's start quickly. And okay, so the first thing we understood in this chapter was entity. Okay, so what is entity? Well, the basic object having independent existence. Okay, so we represent entity from this rectangle entity. Okay, the next one is another kind of entity which is represented by double rectangle. Okay, so this is weak entity. Well, I know this is a new term for you. We have a separate lecture on this weak entity, so we will be covering what it is. Just remember the symbol for now. Okay, now the next one we have is a diamond symbol which represents relationship type. Well, this is also type. I hope by now you understand what is entity and what is entity type. Okay, similarly we have something which is represented by double diamond. So what would it would be? Weak relationship, is it? It is called identifying relationship. Well, this identifying relationship has some relation, I mean has some something to do with this weak entity, and everything I will be explaining in the weak entity lecture. Well, another one we have studied is attribute. So how do we represent attribute? We represent attribute with a ellipse. Okay, sometimes you will see the ellipse having some attribute which is underlined. Okay, for example ID, something like this. The attribute will be underlined, so it means this is a key attribute. Okay, another one you will see is ellipse underlined but with dotted line. Okay, so this is basically uh yes, partial key. Okay, this is again a new term, you will understand it later. Now next you will understand next we have something represented by double ellipse, again double. So this is multi-valued attribute. This we know already, right? Now you will see that attribute having multiple branches like this. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is composite attribute. Okay, composite attribute we know already, right? Okay, again we have something represented by dashed ellipse. Okay, so this is derived attribute. Well, so now we also have something like some uh, restriction or constraints imposed over the ER diagram, that also we have to represent in our ER diagram, right? For example, uh, a student can take multiple course, right? So this is also a, I mean we have some this we call cardinality ratio, which is our next lecture. So this we represent by entity. Here there will be a relationship, okay, in between, and here the relationship we write as 1 is to n. So if this is E1, this is E2, so E1 is to E2 is 1 is to n, okay. So depending upon the relationship, we can say entity E1 can participate in n instance of entity E2, okay. So this is the participation ratio, you can say, okay, or cardinality ratio. Another one is quite similar, not similar, but yes, in case of entity relationship only, we have entity, we have relationship, okay. So it says relationship between entity E1 and E2, but you may get double line here, okay. So this double line is called total participation. Total participation, okay. So this is also our concern in next few lectures. So the terms which we haven't studied yet, we will be covering in the next 2-3 lectures. So for now you have to remember how do we represent each of the uh, basic things in our ER diagram, okay. So in the next lecture I'll be explaining the things like cardinality ratio and the participation constraint, okay. So see you in the next lecture. For now this was just a notation which you have to remember. So thanks for watching.